Trying to get my good angles. Down here on the floor, trying to get my good angles. He's on live TV. Bless me. Ladies and gentlemen, a little bit late. Welcome live. I've always wondered what it's like to be a professional in the world of live television. And the answer always lies in fancy rings and microphones. Move over, Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I'm coming for you. You'll have to excuse me as I'm crouched down here on the floor for today's live reading because you look in the window of East High School right there. Can you get a little closer? Camera man, camera woman, camera person. I'm sorry, I can't tell. Can you get a little closer? Oh, it's just DJ Ringpop. Is he related to DJ Ringfingers? We don't know. But he is our classroom elf who started sending us, can't hear me, sorry. Our classroom elf who did start sending us mysterious mail about 2 weeks ago. And since then, delivers a daily note. And he doesn't spell the best, so we're working on that. Anyway, I think he wanted to be on in this live video, this live YouTube, this streaming service. I'm out of breath. Getting down on the floor takes a lot out of a teacher. Anyway, sorry, I'm dressed so fancy also. Tonight is our Christmas program. Did my light go on? Yes, tonight is our Christmas program, so I just dusted off this whole vest, something I had just at home on the floor, and thought, you know what, perfect for tonight's Christmas program. This week, our story is just for extra credit. So if you're watching this video, or you take the time to read it on your own, and you take the test on Thursday, 1 point per question of extra credit. Without further ado, I bring you The Jones Family Express. The genre is fiction. Every summer, for as long as I can remember, my Aunt Carolyn has gone traveling. Sometimes she would go out of the country, and other times she just got on a train and visited different places. She always had funny stories to tell when she returned. I thought Aunt Carolyn's stories were so much fun that once, when I was 3, I hid in her suitcase so she would take me with her. She was so tickled she promised to send me a postcard from every place she went until I was old enough to travel with her. Grandma had to read the postcards to me at first, but as I got older, I read them myself. Those postcards always made me feel special. This summer, Aunt Carolyn... Sorry, I thought DJ Ringpop just said something to me. I don't think he did. This summer, Aunt Carolyn said she would be here for our annual block party. The block party was my favorite time of the year because the whole family visited us at Grandma's house. People came from everywhere, and there was a lot of food, music, and things to do. Aunt Carolyn didn't come back often, so I wanted to get something special for her. I just didn't know what. The night before the party, I barely got any sleep. My cousin Sean was staying over, and I had to share my bed with him. Sean was always asking questions. "Why do dogs like dog biscuits?" he asked. "I don't know," I answered, but I wasn't really listening. I just lay there thinking until I came up with an idea. Maybe I could find something for Aunt Carolyn on Nostrand Avenue. You can buy almost anything there. Oh, I think Jobadiah is watching and telling me hello, and so is Santa Claus. I've got a YouTube audience. DJ Ringpop, did you hear that? Oh, no comments from the peanut gallery. Strict rules in East High School, apparently. Sorry, I lost my spot talking to the folks at home. Sorry, guys, I was just talking to the fans. Then the next morning, I woke up to the smell of Grandma's pancakes. That's it. I'm about to drop the pancake. DJ Ringpop, drop that pancake. It's the dance craze of 3rd grade. It's soon to sweep the nation. You'll see YouTube videos about it, folks. Sorry, anyway. Hey, what did DJ Ringpop drop in the middle of my live video? The pancake. Guarantee that'll be a extra credit test question on Thursday. What did DJ Ringpop drop? The pancake. Sorry, I gotta get back to the story, folks. Get up, Sean, I said, poking him in his ribs. It's time to get up. We got dressed and ran downstairs. Good morning, Grandma, we sang as we sat down to heaping plates of her buttery, syrupy pancakes. Uncle Charles walked in, grumpy as usual. Sean and I covered our plates with our arms because Uncle Charles liked to take bites of your food. Stop it, Charles, Grandma said, just as he reached for one of my pancakes. I only do it out of love, Uncle Charles replied, acting all innocent. I want to make sure it's not poisoned. One day when I'm rich and famous and I have a personal assistant, they can type messages back to the fans while I'm reading my story. But since that day isn't here yet, hello, Job, hello, Santi. In between bites, Sean told Grandma how he'd been working on a rap for the Block Party talent show. Suddenly, the phone rang. Hey, Carolyn, Grandma said in her cheery voice. When are you getting in? The 2:30 train? You need anything? All right, then, we'll see you soon. I looked at my watch. I had only about 4.5 hours until Aunt Carolyn arrived. I feel like I should be pronouncing it Aunt Caroline, to be fancy. Just then, Aunt Marcia walked in carrying 3 big bags of potatoes. Just kidding, potatoes. I looked at Sean. We better get out of here before they have us peeling potatoes, I whispered. When we reached the vestibule door, we heard country music blasting. It was the songs of Leanne Rimes. Oh, wait, it doesn't say that, I'm sorry. That could mean only one thing. Granddad. I didn't want to get trapped having to help Granddad make his secret barbecue sauce that everybody knew the secret to. Besides, Granddad liked to tell long stories. Sean, I said, go talk to Granddad. I'll be out in a minute. As soon as Sean was gone, I ran up to my room, climbed out the window onto our neighbor's tool shed, and made my way past her garden to the street. Then I headed toward Nostrand Avenue. A little scammer, I see. Obadiah's just dropping me some funny emojis. The first place I went was Perkins Drug Store. The store had shelves and shelves of stuff. I wandered up and down the aisles, picking up things until I heard someone come up behind me. How may I help you, young man? I cringed. Ugh. It was Mr. Perkins, the owner. He had the screechiest voice ever. It was like nails scratching on a chalkboard. I'll do a lesson tomorrow on what a chalkboard is, folks. Just kidding. We have a chalkboard outside of our classroom with wise quotes every week. I told him I wanted to find a special gift for my favorite aunt. What about some cards? Mr. Perkins said. Or we have some delicious chocolates. She might like some perfume. I shook my head no, so he started suggesting other things. I listened politely until my head started to hurt. Thank you, I said finally. Let me think about it some more. Then I walked quickly out of the store, rubbing my ears. Wow. Yes, obviously, I'm using one of my students' books, so thank you, young lady. Next, I went to Miss Ruby's shop. She's from Jamaica. She had lots of handmade things in her store, and I loved the way she talked. Hey, sweetie, how you do? Miss Ruby asked. I'm looking for a surprise for my Aunt Carolyn, I answered, looking around the shop. I've saved up to $10.75. Okay, Miss Ruby said. She must be really special. You see anything you might like? What about that picture frame? I said. Aunt Carolyn loves elephants. So does Mrs. Losi. That one kind of expensive, she said. It costs $27. I put on my best smile and told her I was a little short. You short for true, she said and chuckled. If you did have a little more money, I would sell it to you. But sorry, my love, the money too short. You see a next one you like? I looked around but didn't see anything else. No, thank you, I said. I left Miss Ruby's feeling a little down. As I left the store, I saw Uncle Charles walking toward me. I tried to hide, but he had already spotted me. Where have you been, Stephen? Uncle Charles asked. It's almost time for the block party. Uncle Charles knew how to fix all sorts of things, but he wouldn't do anything unless you paid him. Not even for kids. He was my last chance, though. I've been looking for a present for Aunt Carolyn, I explained. Miss Ruby's shop is too expensive, and there's nothing special enough at Mr. Perkins. Come with me, Uncle Charles said. I've got just the thing. Mr. Taylor just lost his spot in the book. How much money do you have? $10, I said. I kept the 75 cents for myself. I couldn't let him take all my money. We went to Uncle Charles's house, which was pretty junky. He had some of everything there. Bike parts, old toys, magazines, radios, VCRs, you name it. And after we talk about chalkboards tomorrow, we can talk about the relic, the VCR. Uncle Charles started rummaging around his apartment, looking for things that might be useful. Every few minutes, he would hold up something weird. What about this? Uncle Charles said. I would shake my head no. You gotta give me some help here, Uncle Charles complained after I said no to several things. So I started digging around. All of a sudden, there it was. The perfect thing. It was an elf named DJ Ring Pop, spelled with a hashtag. Just kidding. I promise I don't read stories like that in the classroom all the time and go off on weird tangents to the side. What? I don't know. Look at this, I said, holding up a big toy train. Ooh, and that smells like a test question. A big toy train would be the perfect gift. It needed a lot of fixing up. The paint was peeling off and some of the windows were broken, but I could see it had potential. I got busy right away. I had to work fast if I was going to finish in time to meet Aunt Carolyn at the train station. I arrived at the station just as the train was coming in. A big crowd of people rushed down the stairs toward me. After almost everybody had left the station, I spotted Aunt Carolyn. Hey, Stephen, Aunt Carolyn called. She bustled over and plopped down her bags. She gave me a big kiss and I gave her a nice big hug. How's my little man doing? Aunt Carolyn said. Oh, you've gotten so big and handsome. I don't know who's more handsome now, you or Sean. Me, of course, I said, and we both just laughed. So, what do you have there, Stephen? Aunt Carolyn asked, pointing to the package under my arm. It's a surprise for you, I said as I handed her the package. Without saying a word, Aunt Carolyn opened her gift. As soon as she got the wrapping off, she put the train up to her face and turned it around and around. Stephen, Aunt Carolyn said and gave a big laugh. This is the best present anyone has ever given me. When we got back to my block, everyone was so excited to see Aunt Carolyn that they didn't ask where I had been. They surrounded her as if she were a movie star or a third grade teacher in Towanda, Kansas. Sorry, I think I need to get glasses. I keep seeing lines that aren't there. Their voices shouting from every direction. More importantly, from one direction. Oh, sorry, I added that line too. How have you been, Carolyn? Someone called. What did you bring me? Joked another. Were you really in Alaska? Asked Sean. Instead of answering them, Aunt Carolyn held up the train. Isn't this the most wonderful thing you've ever seen? She said. And on the train it says, the Jones Family Express. I'm going to go ahead and show this picture. Excuse me. Almost touched the elf with my elbow. The Jones Family Express. Fiction. Extra credit test. Thursday. Fancy vest. Today. Eagerly, they passed around the train, and everyone took real long, careful looks. Sometimes people laughed or made comments. Yeah, said Uncle Charles. That sure is Grandma, always on the phone. And that sure is Mr. Taylor, always on the microphone. Look at the afros on Uncle Charles and Aunt Marcia, Grandma said, rolling her eyes. The Jones Family Express. That sure is right, said Granddad, chuckling. Everyone liked the train, even Sean, who made a face and said I should have chosen a better picture of him. The rest of the day flew by. Aunt Carolyn put her train on an old cake stand in the kitchen window where everyone could see it. Granddad cooked his best batch of barbecue ever. There were so many greasy barbecue-stained little kids running around that it looked as if they had been in a mud fight. Sean actually won the rap contest. The band liked him so much, they let him be a special guest DJ. until it was time to pack up the music. I don't think his name was DJ Ring Pop spelled with a hashtag. And if it was, I think this one could sue him. Because there's only one DJ Ring Pop. The most surprising thing of all was that Uncle Charles bought ice cream for everybody with my $10 and didn't try to eat anyone else's but his own. Aunt Carolyn sat next to me on the stoops as the whole family told stories, played games, and fought over the last bit of food. Stephen, thank you for making me feel so special, Aunt Carolyn said. She gave me a little hug and handed me a postcard. I turned over the postcard and read the message aloud. Good for one trip with Aunt Carolyn. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was finally old enough to travel with Aunt Carolyn. Who would have guessed that at the end of the day, I would get the best present of all? And that is the Jones Family Express, sometimes known as the Bodiah Jones and the Toucan Jones Family Express. This is Tuesday evening at 4:15 p.m. So if you're watching it on Tuesday, hopefully, see you in a couple hours at our Christmas program. I'll be the one with the fancy vest. And DJ Ring Pop, anything you want to add? I don't know if he's in detention or just hanging out in East High School for fun. Thanks for tuning in. This will be the last live video of 2018. Because, spoiler alert, New Year's coming up. All right. Thank you all for watching. Jobadiah, Santi, Aubrey, thanks for the book. See you all soon. Mr. Taylor out. Yes.